Hello everyone. Today's topic is subtitles. What are they? When do we use them? How important are they? These are all very good things to know in the world of accessibility. So let's just dive right in. What are subtitles? Subtitles are text versions of the spoken dialogue and other audio elements of a video. They typically are displayed at the bottom of the screen and synchronize the audio of the video. Subtitles can include the names of the speakers, their lines of dialogue, and other sounds that are relevant to the content of the video, such as music or sound effects. Why are subtitles important? Subtitles are important for a number of reasons. First and foremost, they provide a way for people who are deaf or hard of hearing to understand spoken dialogue and sound effects in a video. Subtitles can also be useful for people who speak or are learning a different language from the one being spoken in the video, as they can provide a translation of the dialogue. Additionally, subtitles can be helpful for those who are watching a video in a noisy environment and need to read the dialogue in order to understand what's going on. One show that seems to have gone above and beyond for subtitles is Stranger Things, particularly season 4. Whether you watched it or whether or not you liked it, they did an excellent job in this department. The show relied on the use of sound and music to really draw you in mid-emotion, and the AV team did a wonderful job using subtitles to do just that. If you have watched the show, take a look at the photos in the slide, and do you recall anything about the show based on the description, the audio description? Now, the subtitles, wet squelching or pained howling, the shreds of the guitar solo, menacing synth music playing. Those are all things that if you are not able to hear the audio, you would need those details because those tiny little audio cues that you get in the show would not be present if you were deaf or hard of hearing. Perhaps without a single bit of audio on this image, you can hear it in your head. Subtitles can name the speaker, which is not necessary in this case, but the notation of the music for Kate Bush's song shows how heavily influential the lyrics to this particular song were for the scene, as they were included in the subtitles. This just goes to show how much information could be missing if accessibility is not taken into account at the forefront of a project. When should I use subtitles? If you have an audio file such as background music or something like that, captions are not necessary or subtitles are not necessary. But if there's any information that will help the listener fill in what might otherwise be missing, then we do need to add subtitles. You can do that by adding a blank video and simply overlaying the subtitles onto it with the audio file. But if you have video only with no audio, captions are not needed. If you have video with audio content, captions are needed for any audio information that is needed to understand what the video is communicating. There are several utilities or pieces of software you can use to create subtitles, and there's no shortage of ways you can get creative with it. But one of the most common that you may see or may be familiar with is YouTube. So with YouTube, it typically uses AI to generate the subtitles. Unfortunately, AI is not a good substitution for properly adding subtitles. It'll do in a pinch, but it's always good to add proper subtitles to your video. I don't have an example here, but I'm sure you've probably watched a video and the AI caption just didn't get exactly what the person said, or it actually could have completely got what they said wrong. And sometimes the wording is very, very important, especially in tutorial videos or where safety may be concerned. So to add subtitles to a YouTube video, it's incredibly easy. You just pick the video you want to add it to. You can do this during the upload phase, or you can go into your video and click on subtitles. And you can see here, this is a video that I've already done this for. Typically, as you're creating them, if you're creating them from scratch, this will be blank. And all you have to do is press the space bar. Good morning, everyone. This is just a quick, and you will typically just type. Just keep typing as your video goes, and it'll put it in one big chunk of text. Well, then you can tell it to synchronize the audio to the video, and it will take all of your text that you typed and match that up with the timings that you see here. And that's very, very easy because there's a lot of different ways to do that. You can also upload a subtitle file. Typically, that looks like this. That you have the subtitle track number, and then you have the timing sequences that it's going to show up in the video for. This is not actually in one of my videos, but this is just what that would look like if you were to type it from scratch. You can also use software to create it, as I'm going to show you in a little bit. But YouTube's a free way of doing that. So even if you're not going to use YouTube to publish your video or keep it, what you can do is use it, upload your file, generate the captions, and then you have it. Another quick and easy way to do that as well for captions, at least to get your text that you're wanting, is to, as you record your video, you can open a Google Doc, turn on the dictation or the narration feature, and talk, and that will turn the what you're saying into text on the document. It's going to be all in one kind of blob of text that, it still may not be correct all the way, but it will get most of the text that you just then kind of have to sort through and tweak a little bit. Then you can take that, put it into this editor by copying and pasting, and then it'll sync it up, and you're done before you know it. That'll help you get the timings down. Or you can take that into another editor like I'm going to show you in a little bit. So once you have all of your formatting done here, or you've made sure to play through, make sure your timing is good, you can click on, if you want to clear it, that's fine. If you want to download them to put them into another program, you can click download subtitles, but that's really it. And you're done. You click done. The subtitles go onto your video. So then when you want to view it and you turn on captions. Good morning, everyone. This is just a quick tutorial. There we go. Now we have the captions. So that's just a really quick and easy way to do that in YouTube. Another free piece of software I use is called Subtitle Edit. This particular version is 3.6.6. I will post the link to the software in the description of this video. It should still be available for download. Again, this is not officially supported by me. It's just a piece of software that I use. You're welcome to reach out and use that as well. It's not as user-friendly as YouTube, but if for some reason you're not using YouTube for your captions or subtitles, and if you don't have access to another paid service such as Premiere Pro or Happy Scribe or something like that, this will definitely get the job done. Again, a little less user-friendly, but all you have to do is really import your video. So you open your video file. You can play through your video file. I'm just doing the one that I'm actually using part of this video in the sequence, and then you type in your subtitles, and then you can either do line breaks to fill up the screen here, and you just change your timing. This one's just a little more tricky because you have to do the duration of the caption and then apply your next timings. So again, a little less user-friendly, but it definitely gets the job done. Now, moving on from free software, this particular software is Adobe Premiere Pro. It's Adobe Premiere Pro 2023. It is a paid software. There is a free trial if you'd like to use that and kind of see if it might be something to suit you. But it does make making subtitles and other videos very, very easy. There is some free software such as Davinci Resolve. I'm not sure if it generates the subtitles or not, but I will definitely find that out. As far as Adobe Premiere Pro is concerned, it uses AI to auto-generate captions or transcribe sequences. You don't have to use that, but it does make it a lot easier. You can still import from a file like we went over before, but it just makes things a whole lot easier for you. So if you want to create some text or transcribe a sequence, just get your video done, get it ready, ready to export, and then do your captions at the end, because it's going to overlay all of that information, and it makes editing a whole lot easier if you just wait to the end. So click on Window, Text. It's going to open our text pane. You can already see I have this here, so I'm going to retranscribe the sequence so you can see it from scratch. Normally you would just click on transcribe sequence. I'm going to retranscribe. I don't need separate speakers, but it can detect them. If you have 2 or 3 people speaking, and it will try to differentiate them and give them names. You can also then name them yourself. That is important if you do have multiple speakers. That way you know who's speaking. I'm going to transcribe. This typically is a fairly quick process, but it does really depend on how long of a video you have. This particular video is about a little over 2.5 minutes long, and it's mostly audio. There's very little visual change, so it's going to go through it pretty quickly. And once it gets finished, I'm going to have my transcription that you just saw. Great. We're just going to assume that this is 100% correct for the sake of the video. It's always great to go through this, double check punctuation, make sure it got things such as if you use an abbreviation, especially we love our abbreviations. And so you always want to make sure, because it doesn't always get those correct. Very rarely does it get them correct. And sometimes it will just make up words to put in place. So it's always good to check. And if you ever see any, something that just looks completely alien to what you said, more than likely you said an abbreviation and it just put some stuff there. So all we have to do now to create our captions is we click on the 3 dots here. We can click on Create Captions. I'm leaving all of my settings the default because I don't want to change the format of the text. I don't want to change how long they're up there, the color of them. Just going to leave all of that the default. And then it's going to create a captions track for me at the top of the video. and then that's it. If I want to hide that, I can hide it. That way, if I want to export my video without those being burned in, I can just hide it. But the important thing is, since it created these for me and it added the timings as well as the speakers, since it's just one, I can click on the three dots here and export, and then export to SRT file. That's kind of the standard format for subtitle files. There are a lot of different subtitle formats, but SRT is one of the most widely accepted. You can do a text file or a CSV file for other softwares that maybe just need that. But for the most part, you would just export your SRT file, and then you could even import that into YouTube or other software. That way you don't have to type it into YouTube. You just saved yourself a step. So if you're already putting it in YouTube, and you don't want to type it all in yourself, pop it in Premiere, let it do all the work, double check it, and then put your SRT file there in YouTube. And I will be making a video on how to do captions in YouTube. I kind of showed that a little bit at the beginning of this video, but we'll go over that at another time. So you make your SRT file. Now you do want to make sure you hide the track before you export the actual video. Otherwise, your captions are going to be burned in. So if you're not wanting the captions on all the time, you want to make sure you hide that track before you export it. Now, if you're a larger government entity or organization, if you just have a lot of files that you're constantly going to be making and creating subtitles for, which you should. If you have a video, if you have content with audio in it, or a video with audio in it, you definitely need to add subtitles to that. Again, we don't want anybody to be missing out on the content that we make. So add those subtitles, design with accessibility in mind, and everyone benefits. So if you are needing a service and not a particular piece of software to create the subtitles yourself, there are several free services. The ones I'm going to show here are not supported by this channel or this organization. These are just some that I have found to use. Now, there are free services and there are also paid services in regards to the transcription services. It's just important to remember, especially with kind of any cloud platform, if you're not paying for it, you are the product. So if you're not paying for it as a customer, they're using your data somehow. It's important to know how. And the Amara has several pricing plans, so you can pay for it. There is a public version or a free version that you can use for kind of some basic use. You know, if you have an organization, only one user would be able to use it from there. So you would have to contact them for paid plans. But a lot of the other softwares start as a paid plan. So you have sublead.com, or getsublead.com. It's a paid software. Happy Scribe, and then there's Rev. Rev is one of the most highly rated because what happens is you send them your video and they do the captions and the transcriptions for you. There's different pricing models for each one. Some of them will do translations as well. So if you have a lot of videos, it may be in your interest to do that, or if someone from your organization is going to be designated as the transcriber or the captioner, it's important to do that as well. Just as long as you have some transcriptions or some captions, that's what's important. We want our videos to be as accessible as possible. If you have any questions or comments, if there's a particular software that's free, maybe you want to know more about how to use it, please let me know. I'm happy to do a video just on that, just to explain the uses of that. If you need to know, how to insert those captions and things like that, just let me know, and I'll take care of it. Have a great day.